So you may have a wonderful family member, maybe a rich auntie, who wants to make gifts to all of your children. And you're like, wow, thank you so much, except you have a child with disabilities. And if they receive a gift outright, it could interfere with their public benefits. Well, what should we do in this case? In this video, we're going to talk about how you can let your rich auntie know, or you may be the rich auntie, how you can make gifts to your loved ones, your loved family members, without paying gift taxes and without interfering with needs-based public benefits, and also protecting that gift so that the beneficiary doesn't squander it. So I've been practicing in estate planning for about 15 years now, and I've seen some wonderful situations where extended family members want to make lovely gifts to their loved ones. Maybe it might be a grandmother or an aunt or uncle or another family member. And one thing that they like to do is use something called the annual exclusion. Okay, that's an amount that you can give as many people as you want and not report that gift to the IRS. All right, you don't have to file a 709 gift tax return, and it doesn't interfere with your lifetime gifting amount. Now, I have a video on gift taxes, and I encourage you to watch that video to get more familiar with these terms. So anyways, auntie, let's say, wants to give the year, right now it's 2023, and you can give up to $17,000 a year to as many people as you want without having to pay gift taxes. Okay, so auntie says, I want all of my nieces and nephews to receive $17,000 at the end of the year. And so $17,000 to you, and they all say, thank you, auntie. But then a disabled child gets that money and, oh no, that is over their $2,000 limit for supplemental security income that they might be receiving. Uh-oh, or maybe they just can't manage that money themselves. What should auntie do? Well, I think the best conduit for giving a gift and receiving a gift for a disabled child is an ABLE account. An ABLE account can be set up for the child and for a disabled child, and up to $17,000 can go into that account each year, and it doesn't interfere with the child's public benefits. Isn't that amazing? I actually have 3 videos right now on ABLE accounts because I think these are such terrific vehicles for saving money for disabled kids. So auntie can give $17,000 a year to each person, or maybe to their 529 plans. But for the disabled child, they give $17,000 to that ABLE account. They don't have to report it to the IRS. It still counts. Now let's say auntie says, oh, that child has a special needs trust set up. I'm going to make the $17,000 gift to that special needs trust. Well, here's the problem with that. That won't interfere with public benefits, but it doesn't count as a completed gift for gift tax purposes. So hang on with me. For that $17,000 annual exclusion to apply, auntie needs to be able to give the $17,000 to her nephew, let's say, and then the nephew takes it and says, thank you, auntie, and can spend that money wherever he wants. If you make a gift to a special needs trust, that's not considered a completed gift because the child can't access the money themselves. Somebody else has to act as trustee of the special needs trust, and the child's not allowed to access it. That's what protects the child's public benefits. So making a gift, a $17,000 gift to a special needs trust, does not work for the annual exclusion amount. So instead, you make the gift to the ABLE account. Now, the ABLE account is owned by the beneficiary, but somebody else can be managing that account. So if you're worried that the child will blow through that money, you can name, the mother or the father can be acting, or a sibling can be acting as the manager of the ABLE account.
Hey everyone, if you like my mom's video, like and subscribe.
Okay, so now let's say rich auntie wants to give more. Let's say she has an inside scoop to some stocks that haven't yet gone public, but they're going to really soon, and the value is going to just skyrocket. And she wants to get those assets out of her estate before the value goes up so that she can make a smaller gift rather than a larger gift. She can use up less of her gift tax exemption than when the value goes up and she gives it away, or she dies and leaves it. So for example, let's say she has $1 million of stock in some, startup that's going to go public soon. And she's like, all right, let me give this to my disabled nephew because I know he's going to need it. He's going to need money for the rest of his life because he can't take care of himself. He can't work and support himself, unlike my other nieces and nephews. So she can transfer that $1 million of stock into that child's standalone special needs trust. Now let me specify, the special needs trust for the disabled nephew must be a standalone trust. It can't be a testamentary trust. A lot of people will draft a revocable trust and they'll say, okay, for this child, we're going to include some special needs trust language that springs into being when the parents die. But what if the parents are still alive? That trust is not effective yet. So for this to work, you need to have a standalone special needs trust. Then you get a separate tax ID number. The auntie can transfer that $1 million of stock into the special needs trust. Auntie needs to report this on her 709 form, a gift tax return. And then that $1 million is in the special needs trust. And when the value goes up, then the special needs trust benefits from it. All right. And at this point, if the parents are still alive, they are managing that money for the child. So that can be a great way for a rich auntie to give a larger amount of money to the disabled child. In that case, it really does make sense to transfer it into the special needs trust. Now, here's another thing I want you to think about. All right. If you are a parent who has a disabled child and your sibling is super rich, that's the rich auntie is your sibling. When you do your estate plan, if you have a standalone special needs trust for your disabled child, please share the information about that special needs trust with rich auntie, all right? Because then auntie can update her estate plan. She might say maybe she doesn't have any kids. Like, I have a wonderful auntie. She's not super rich, but I love her to death. She's like the 8th grandparent for our kids. So she or whoever is the auntie would update their estate plan to say, you know, upon my death, I want everything to go equally to my nieces and nephews, for example. But for a certain nephew who's disabled, I want his inheritance to instead go into the standalone special needs trust that the parents have created. So that's the way that we make sure that everything going to this disabled child from any source, from the grandparents, from the auntie, from anyone else, makes it into this trust. And I know when I'm working with families who have someone like Rich Auntie, I usually send the language to Rich Auntie's estate planner. And then that estate planner can do just a partial amendment of Auntie's estate plan. And it's really simple and easy. So if you do have a rich auntie, or if you know somebody who might be giving a significant gift or wants to make gifts to someone who's disabled, I encourage that you share this video with that person. There's a little arrow, a little right arrow that says share, and you can just send this video straight to them and they can benefit from the information here. So if you've enjoyed this, I do encourage you to look over that gift taxes video, because that really talks a lot about all the rules pertaining to gift taxes and how that might apply as we're looking at the rich auntie situation. And we'll see you over there.
Hello everyone. If you liked my mom's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time.